So we're back with the third session of the fourth event in the Supreme Pool Series. This is the K8.com Classic. This game between Darrell Whitworth and Batten. Know Greg Batten very well and know his style. Don't know Darrell Whitworth, must admit. So it'd be interesting to see him. This is the first time he's been on this arena table. Lots and lots of action going on in the arena. Games left over from that 12:30 session. Brian Halcrow versus Dave Mcquillan, 8 frames each. Matt Brearley 2-1 up against Rich Wharton. I can tell you that Andy Barber's 5-2 up against Jetman. Jez Graham 2-all against Omar Ranchod. Dan Davey 3-2 up against Gaz Roids. Odie Bell and Zack Shepherd, the all Welsh affair, 3 frames apiece. Jordan Shepherd 2 apiece with Chris Day. Neil Raybone 4-2 up against David Mcnamara. Craig Marsh 3-2 up against Ryan Clark. And Karl Sutton 5-1 against Mark Asprey. So we are up to date with the games around the table. Darrell's broken off. The referee has marked and replaced the yellow whilst moving the rack, and we're good to go. So Darrell, without an easy opener, so deciding to go up and down the table, but as a result, he's left an open table. Again, he could play that shot knowing he's not really going to leave very much. Greg Batten with a similar proposition to the one Darrell was facing. Probably only got a really tricky plant in the top corner, or maybe a double. I think he's going to take the double. Oh, he could just, didn't realise he could just get through to that yellow. So, yellows he claims, and you see by the graphics, some of you may not have noticed the little yellow above Greg's name, the red above Darrell's, just subtle, but tells you what balls are on. The little arrow which is currently pointing to Darrell signifies whose break it is. If you want to keep up with any of the scores, then it's qscore.com. Look under the live tab and you will see the K8.com Classic. And we're going to focus on this game. Greg Batten against Darrell Whitworth. Okay, so the player at the table is Greg Batten. his nickname, the Pac-Man, after winning the Players Amateur Championship. They called him the Pac-Man. He's aged 33 years old. He's married. He uses a Burroughs and Watts Champion cue with an 8.5mm Elk Master tip. Pool achievements: the Players Amateur Champion 2017, the English Open Champion winner in Bradford 2016, the World Rules, in World Rules, the England International 2015 winner, Southwest Elite Championship, won that twice. He's won the Southwest Pool Tour 7 times. He was the Plaza Money League Champion 2016, the Plaza being the Plaza down in Plymouth. Started playing pool when he was 29 years old, so only 4 years ago. He played snooker to a high standard for many years, but he was never quite good enough to make it professionally. So he got asked to turn out for the pool team on a Tuesday night, and it kind of all went from there. And he really has turned his hand to this game. One of the top players in the country. Not scared of a money match either. Says that his greatest influence has been his dad. He used to take him all around the country playing in snooker competitions. And he gets a lot of support from his family and his wife. His favourite player is Mark Selby. He was lucky enough to appear on Junior Big Break when he was 14 years old with Mark Selby. And he played against him at Leicester in the junior competitions. Loves the way that he conducts himself. And Greg, another guy, he's such a nice guy and really interesting, really quietly spoken, but got a wicked sense of humour and also very, very talented magician. If you've never seen Greg and his card tricks, then you've missed out, because he really is a fantastic magician. Best opponent he's ever played against is Gareth Potts. Played him a few years ago at Stoke in the annual Players Team event. And this is a good start from Darrell Whitworth. As I say, the first time I've seen him.
Batten to break, trailing 1 frame to 0.
Greg breaking off the second frame. Decent break. Problems with both sets. Trouble is with taking the yellow. Then he's got the 2 yellows to the left side, which won't pass the red. So he needs to give this a bit of thought. I wonder if they plant in the middle. I don't think they do. They're set to the top, and yeah, you can just see there. It's just set to the just above the top knuckle, and that's going to be difficult to make. So this frame has got a lot of play left in it. You can see the yellow also tied up in amongst the pack. So Greg just electing to play a little containing shot. He played it really well. He just moved, split open the pack, made his yellow potable.
Total. Hammering.
Greg asks for total, and the ref agrees. Should just put a drop on this dead weight, and he's not gonna leave anything. So Darryl asking the ref to move the shark rack as the white has come to rest on it. So I think he probably needs to mark the cue ball. I think should come out. May wish to mark another ball. Good work. Good work there from the ref. Again, this is just going to be another containing shot, just pushing that red over the path, the yellow. No attacking options here for either player. Can Greg do something with this yellow, I'd say. I think the shot here is to try and treble this yellow. If he pots it, he can go for a clearance. If he gets it over the pocket, then he's got the advantage in the game. So treble it is. Oh, he could just get past for the double. Look at that, what a great shot. So we went through Greg's profile. His opponent is Darrell Whitworth, nicknamed Daz. He's 28 years old. Lives around the Milton Keynes area. His sponsor is the Q Academy at Milton Keynes. He's got a Stanford Q with a 9mm Elkmaster tip. His pool achievements, he plays for the England team. Also getting into the Premier League on the UK tour. Darryl, a very familiar face on that UK tour. So plays to the highest level. And similarly to Greg, he used to play snooker to a reasonable standard. Had lots of mates who played pool, so when he quit snooker, it was natural to just go across and play for the pool team. His greatest influence has named two people, Cleve Thompson and Tom Church. Taught me everything he knows. Favourite player is Phil Harrison. He's just a machine. He would like to win a UK tour or a major championship. An interesting fact about him is that he used to play in the same England snooker team as Judd Trump, Kyron Wilson and Jack Lozowski. So that's quite some lineup. And asked about other talents, he plays county cricket for, or he played county cricket for Bedfordshire until the under-21 team. And he makes a fantastic carbonara, so cooking talents all round. I saw that Mark Fleming earlier said he makes the best toast in the UK. This is a nice clearance from Greg. Brian Halcrow, Dave Mcquillan game still going on. And Brian Halcrow's 10 frames to 9 up. Matt Brearley 4-2 up on Rich Wharton. Jez Graham 3-2 up against Omar Manchid. Dan Davey 4-2 up against Gaz Roids. Zack Shepherd 6-3 up on Oli Bell. Stefan Rosidi 3-1 against Gav Robinson. Karl Sutton 6-2 against Mark Asbury. Craig Marsh 5-3 against Ryan Clark. Jordan Shepherd's trailing 4-3 against Chris Day. And finally Neil Rayburn 6-3 against David Mcnamara.
Frame 3, Darrell Whitworth to break. 1 frame apiece.
That's a really well controlled shot. Just had the wrong angle to play through, so he needed to nudge the black. He needed it to nudge far enough to clear that red. Played it really well. Again, needs to just be a tiny bit careful because he cannot avoid colliding with the black here. I think he can just stun off the back of it and leave this one up the rail. Nice shot. Wiped his feet on the way in, but dropped in all the same. Now again, should be fairly plain sailing. Can just pop this one naturally and leave himself on his last red. Leave a nice angle to come down for the black. And it should be 2-1. And Darryl's got off to a good start here. Nice break dish. It's got a nice cue action. Lovely deep drawback. Pause on the backswing. Good stuff from Darrell Whitworth. As I say, the first time we've seen him on the stream, but looking impressive so far.
Batten to break, trailing 2 frames to 1.
Dry break from Greg Batten, a puff of the cheeks as he goes back to his corner. I understand, slightly frustrated. Everything opens so dramatically that if you are dry breaking, then it becomes a very tough game. Darryl with this long opening red. And the way he's left this, it looks as if this red closest to the top cushion must pass behind the yellow, but for the world from this angle, it doesn't look like it does. Just shows you how much the angle gets foreshortened by these cameras. Never thought for 1 second that that would have passed into there. But it does, and now he's got a golden chance to go 3-1 up. I say, it should be fairly straightforward. Red to corner has a nice angle. Can just stun across. Finally asks for the rack to be removed. Just a quick glance at the Ryder Cup earlier on, and it looked like there's a big European fight back on the cards. 3-1 down, but they are up by a huge margin. In all 4 of their games, they're 3 up in the Henrik Stenson, Justin Rose versus Dustin Johnson, Ricky Fowler game. 3 up Poulter McElroy against Watson Simpson. 5 up Garcia Angin against Mickelson DeChambeau. And Molinari Fleetwood 4 up against Thomas and Spieth. So there's a massive comeback on the cards there for Europe, even though I think in the Garcia game there were 7 up and America just won 2 in a row. And Stenson, they were 5 up and the Americans just won 2. So that's us up to date with what's going on in the Ryder Cup. And in the meantime, Greg Batten is just decelerated on that shot. And he's still got this thin clip to middle, but he's got a tough clearance here. Really needed to take this middle one to be able to control his next moves. He needed that one to connect to the one just below the middle bag to then connect to the one below the black. So it's going to be plan B. Needed that to stop, and that's gone 6 inches too far. You could just hear the ref counting down on Greg's shot, and I think that just put an added element of pressure, which meant he missed the one in the middle. But this is a really bad error from Darryl. Had to give himself a shot on this black, and he had a fair margin for error. again, as we've noticed a couple of times, the players just struggling a little bit with the reactiveness of the table, and that is disastrous for Darryl. He's not only missed a shot, but he's got one of the difficult yellows away from the rail. And you expect Greg to be through these fairly shortly. He's going to screw back out for the one over the middle next. Yep. Just powered it in because he needed to just finish above it. But deciding to, hasn't quite got the right angle, so deciding to go for the corner first and left himself a nice angle just to drop off the side rail for the black along the bottom. Greg Batten pots that black, and it's now 2 frames each.
Frame 5, Darrell Whitworth to break, 2 frames each.
You have to excuse me, I was eating on the job there, as Dominic astutely realised. You don't get much in the way of breaks between the matches, so just grab a bite to eat when you can. So apologies for the sound effects. Baz asking how Lee Boggy's getting on. He lost his first round match, so he's going to go to the loser's side. If you want to see any of the scores, any live scores or any scores from earlier in the games, earlier rounds, then you can go to qscore.com, where they have the full draw laid out for you, all the upcoming games. Any games you see on table 16, they're the games for the arena. Any games you see on table 11, they're the second commentary table. And then we have tables 3 and 4, which are also live streamed. Another very unexpected miss from Greg Batten. Normally so accurate in those situations. Let's have a quick look around and see some of the other scores. One of Greg Batten's local practice partners, Jez Graham, also in action. He's currently trading 4-3 to Omar Mounted. Ian Alley, who was a big favourite over Cameron Dunlop, is trailing to him 5-3. Big favourite with the bookies, I shall hasten to add. Nothing personal. Dan Davey, 7-2 up against Gaz Roids. Oli Bale and Zack Shepherd locked together at 7 each, after Zack was 6-3 ahead. Stefan Rosidi, 5-3 up against Gavin Robinson. Karl Sutton is on the hill. He's 10-2 up against Mark Asprey. That game from the earlier session, which started at 6 minutes past 12, is now reaching 4 hours, and they're 10 apiece. Brian Halcrow versus Dave Mcquillan. 10 frames each after 4 hours. That's a real grind. Craig Marsh 7-4 up against Ryan Clark. Jordan Shepherd similarly 7-4 up against Chris Day. He did trail 3-2. And Neil Raybone making short work of his game, 8-3 up against David Mcnamara. So we're fully up to date and up to speed. Just one last thing to quickly look at, and that's the stream games for the 5:30 session. On this table, the arena table, we will have Jordan Church against Ben Davis, and I knew that would come onto the arena table, and I'm really looking forward to that game. On the second table, table 11, is going to be Scott Gillespie against Phil Harrison. Then you've got Lee Clough against Gareth Hibbert, or Declan Brennan against Matt Lawrenson. So 4 really good games coming up on stream in that 5 PM session, 5:30 session, should I say. He's just let that one get away from himself again. These are unforced errors, and not something that you expect to see from Greg Batten. Normally so precise. Just not quite found the pace of the table yet, but we've seen that a couple of times already today. This brand new cloth. None of these players have ever played on it before. Maybe a few got up early yesterday and managed a few frames on it, but no one's had a good session on it yet. Just had to turn that over half ball. Couldn't quite. So it brings Darryl to the table with half a chance. Looks like he's going to be forced to go up table to clear the top of the table and then find a route through for this last yellow, just to the left of the white line. So he's navigated that little positional problem really well. And now he can just drop this yellow in, hold the white ball virtually where the yellow is for a straight black in the top corner. Obviously felt that he couldn't quite hold it, so he's come across table once. He's left more distance than he would have wanted here. This now makes this an uncomfortable shot, queuing off the bottom rail. Yeah, that really did make that shot missable. Felt that if he could have just dropped that into the middle and held that gap, then over that distance the black was unmissable. But Greg with this plant to open up, and now you got to say he goes a big favourite for this frame. Simple stuff. Greg Batten will take the lead, 3 frames to 2.
Frame 6, Greg Batten to break, leading 3 frames to 2.
Some break there from Greg. He's potted 4 balls, but it's not really pretty, is it? As so often happens, there's quite a lot of balls have got congregated to the left rail. He's really going to want to take yellows here. But he's got that problem with the yellow inside the red. So how do you go about these? Is he going to try and attack it straight away? He certainly is. What a shot. Oh my goodness. How has that white ball stayed up? And can he get through to the red? Sorry, the yellow. Does the yellow pass below the red and black? If he, well, not sure it does. If it doesn't, he's got the yellow just above the red, just below the bulk line, which goes to top right, which is the one he's queuing now. That really was a great shot. Loaded it up with screw to come back and split that red and yellow apart. I see in the far distance Jordan Shepherd at the table. He's 8-5 up against Chris Day. He did trail that game. Odie Bell now 9 frames to 8 against Zack Shepherd. And they appear to have played 17 frames in absolutely no time at all. Jez Graham is trailing Omar Manchid 5 frames to 3, so finally a bit of a showing from the Moroccan boys. Greg giving that one a lot of time and attention because it was all about the pace and where that yellow ball went after it made the plant. You see the Southwest contingent watching on the right hand side. That's Jamie Graham. In the middle, covering his face, is Darren McVicker. Can he just nip it? He can just get through to the potting angle. And he's left the black for the middle. He's okay. And now it's for a 2-frame lead for Greg Batten. Oh no. No, that must be a foul. It's definitely hit the red on the way through, and ref called it. And in fact, oh, the ref didn't call a foul, so Darrell's just asking if it was a foul. And yeah, Greg nodding his head, saying, "I'm pretty sure that hit the yellow. I'm certain." So just a tiny bit of confusion there because the ref didn't see the foul. But you could see straight away from Greg's reaction that he was grimacing and wondering what on earth went on there. So Darryl was just saying to the ref, "Was that a foul?" And he said, "Well, I can't call a foul if I didn't see it." But the red moved, and the red can't possibly move if he's hit the black first. From the angle it was, and Greg was happy it was a foul. I mean, I immediately called foul. We're just looking at the replay of the shot. I think it has to be foul. And it was called, so it's 3 frames each. I mean, you guys can replay at home. You've got a little, you've got the same function we have. You can just pull the bar back and watch the shot. But I think everyone's happy it was a foul. Greg called it on himself. Darryl was happy. It was my immediate reaction. The only person who didn't see it was the ref. But that's fine. We all make mistakes. Just one of those things. And we move on. Score's correct. Beautifully timed break from Darryl, and that really was a big swing in the game, wasn't it? That little, just a tiny glance is just really was a clumsy error from Greg. And you could see, as I say, from his reaction, I could see straight away that he knew it was a foul, and he was just expecting the ref to call it. But as soon as he was asked, he said, "I'm happy it was a foul." Anyway, we move on. Again, it's another one of those clearances which is really just about cue ball control. There's a kind of a natural path from one to the other. There's only one ball that really causes any concern, and that's this stray red to the left, nearest the left middle bag. It's kind of surrounded by those two yellows, so it's not straightforward to get on it. Darryl using his extension. Needs to address that ball on the left-hand side fairly soon. It clearly goes to top left, but it's finding the natural ball to get on it. May just be able to nip this back now and get to that kind of area. Looks like he's got a pretty decent angle for doing that. He's just tried to nudge the yellow aside. Any kind of full ball contact on the yellow would have been perfect. Now, just a little touch awkward. Should just be able to run this, run the red into the top right corner, take the white off the top cushion, and then play the long ball to bottom corner. And the trouble is, it's all long shots. Nothing's close up here, so a lot of scope for this to go wrong. And again, this is really about how he gets position on this last red. If he can get somewhere near straight, then he can screw straight back for the black. As I said, just a bit more awkward than desired. And there we go, as I say, scope for it to go wrong. And it does. And he's totaled himself. Oli Bale on the hill against Zack Shepherd, 10-8 up, and he was some way behind in that match. He was, I think he was 6-3 down. Great shot of the white ball spinning on the spot. Where that red's gone, now it's just made things slightly awkward for Greg. That could have gone to a much better place on the table for him. It's blocked the path of the two yellows in the centre of the table to that bottom left pocket. I think we could see a safety here. I think he may well just nudge this yellow off the rail and leave himself snookered behind, leave Darryl snookered. Again, just really, maybe just a tiny bit clumsy. Could have brought that yellow out another inch or so. It would have made this a much more difficult proposition. Would have taken away the one cushion escape. And you wonder whether, is there enough scope here, or is the knuckle in the way? Can he go 2 cushions and just rest up behind it? Couldn't, so hits it with pace. Oh wow, what a kiss that was on the red. It looked for the world that nothing could go wrong there. But that's disaster. What great camera angles we're getting here. Fantastic. Greg just shaking his head, disappointed with that unforced error, handing the frame to Darryl on a plate. Yeah, Darryl now takes the lead, 4 frames to 3. Greg's got the break, so we are on serve, as it were. Couple of big swings there, but for the foul in the last frame on the black, and that little error from Greg in that one, this could easily be 5-2, but instead he trails 4 frames to 3. It's just those tiny little mistakes that make all the difference. How much of a part will that play as we approach the latter stages of the match? I can look across on table 11. I can see that Oli Bell is at the table in that hill game. Sorry, in that he's on the hill. Sorry, against Zack Shepherd. Someone else on the hill, Neil Raybone, against David Mcnamara. He's 10-3 up. And just taking a quick look at that Oli Bell game, he's got a simple black down the rail, and that's going to see him through on the winner's side. And Zack Shepherd drops across into the losers section. My compatriot on commentary in the first match, and he was fairly confident against that game with that game against Oli, but Oli Bell did threaten me a little while ago that he was going to be a big feature in these last couple of events. Back on the practice table, practicing hard, and he told me he was going to be in the latter stages. So he's done his first job. We'll see him back in action later this evening. He's going to look to screw off the side rail, screw down the table, and then take. Must admit, I thought he was going to try and take that yellow just above the pack, but he's left a really nice angle now just to be able to take that as his penultimate yellow. The thing with that shot, he needs to finish below the yellow. May just be able to play straight through this one and take the one to the left of the pack. You can see a really good angle, just off straight. So decided to play through. And again, I don't think he's perfect. Needed to be another inch further down the table, and this would have just been such a simple little, just needs to stun out 2 inches, and he's got the other yellow at his mercy, but he's finished the wrong side of this, and now this becomes a lot more difficult. I wonder if does he run down on top of the red and leave the yellow back up into that middle bag that you can see? Can he nick a bit of the pocket and just, yes. You can see that adjustment he's made. Whilst at the table, he's just trying to pinch a bit of the pocket and taking his medicine. Left a slightly more angle than he'd like. But again, he can nip this into the corner and stun up into the middle of the table. Overhit that one by an absolute mile. And I don't think this black goes to bottom corner. So, what should have been a really easy finish, he's misjudged that by some distance. As I say, these are a lot of uncharacteristic mistakes here. Mistakes in the last 3 frames that have cost him frames that were all but his. Causes extension to give him some more time. It doesn't go inside the red. If the red was another couple of inches away from the side cushion, he could go rail first off the back of the red. So he's going to have to play this thin. And the problem with this shot is that the white often catches up with the ball. So even if it's in, the white can go across table. There, you could see the white chasing after the black. As quite often happens with those shots. Sometimes when they're on target, the white comes back across the table, catches up with the black and knocks it off course. So another mistake that may cost him the frame. The only saving grace is the black's gone into a bit of an awkward position, covering the red for Darryl. So he's going to have to come up with a bit of a plan for this red on the side rail, whether he decides to try and double it or try and move it. He's got a couple of balls that he can try and move it with. You can see the one closest to the centre of the table. He's going to try and use that one to move the one off the side rail, and that's why he's taking this longer ball. Because he wanted to make sure that he finished below that red, and that's no good. He's overhit that, and now he has no angle to try and move that red. So, I think he's going to be forced to double it, and he may have to try and double it now. He's got the right angle to do so. No good. No good. And I think he's left the black for Greg. I think he would have been wiser in trying to screw that white ball further across the table. He had more room to play with and could have left this a lot more difficult for Greg. But it's a quarter ball clip, and Greg levels things up at 4 frames each. Well, mistakes from both players. Maybe just still early doors, settling on this cloth. Again, this looks like it's been overhit. Sorry, it's been underhit by probably a good 6 inches. So I have to take this long one now. And again, he needs to cue it well. And that's going to be in no man's land. I think he's probably still got one of these 2 yellows. Passes into left middle. Still going, but doesn't get any easier. And is this going to pull up? No. Wow, this is a thin snick. Whiteboard's going to be travelling. What a shot that is. And he's left it perfect for the bottom corner. What a shot. Good clearance from Darryl. He retakes the lead. 5 frames to 4. It's Greg Batten's break. And we're still on serve. Let's have another quick look around the rest of the arena. That Hill match, David Mcquillan against Brian Halcrow, which was an epic, lasted over 4 hours. David Mcquillan won in 11-10. Matt Brearley is 7-4 up against Rich Wharton. Cameron Dunlop 9-5 against Ian Alley. And I think Ian Alley was about a 1. I could be mistaken, but I think he was about a 1-4 favourite before that started. I think. I didn't really see the bookies' prices that well, but John Rose just gone 8-5 against Dom Coomey. Dan Davies through. He's just ticked over, and he's 11-4 against Gaz Roids. Jez Graham 6-5 up against Omar Ranchod. Jordan Shepherd is through 11-6 against Chris Day. Neil Raybone is through 11-3 against David Mcnamara. Lots of good games still to come in the 5 p.m. and the 5:30 session. The 2 main streamed games, main arena, Jordan Churchfield versus Ben Davis. That promises to be an amazing game on paper. And over on table 11, Scott Gillespie versus Phil Harrison. So the only 2 winners of the Supreme Series so far. Scott Gillespie won event 1. Phil Harrison won events 2 and 3. The only event winners face off against each other in the first round. And you can watch that on table 11. Greg Batten broke this frame, went straight in off. And one of those occasions where Darryl just didn't feel any need to use his free shot, because it's all fairly straightforward. you can probably only do more bad than good. All we ask of you guys is if you could possibly like and share this stream. If you click share, you will see options to be able to share it to Facebook. We'd really appreciate it. If you would do that for us, it just increases the exposure of the series. If you haven't done so before, please do go to Players Pool Events on Facebook and give us a like, where you'll keep up to date with all the games. And also pop across the Beard Productions page on Facebook and also give us a like on there. Little contingent of players just over to the left of the arena. Some of the guys, you can just see them in shot there. So, I believe that's Callum Singleton. He stood there with Ben Flack and Mike King, all guys from the UK tour. They'll all know each other from that tour. And the straight black. And now Darryl extends his lead and it's 6 frames to 4. this big frame there for Greg. Already 2 behind. In a race to 11, can't afford to fall 3 behind. He will have his back firmly against the wall. And there's another loose shot that's got away from him. These are unforced errors. Really in no man's land here. No good. And all of these reds have a pocket. Yet another awkward finish, but Darryl will be happy to be at the table, just taking advantage of these mistakes. Loaded that shot with the right hand side, which just threw the object ball and you saw it rattle in the pocket. Needs to play the bottom one of the 2 to middle first, as it's the only pocket it really goes into. And that's not a good contact. He's tried for a full contact to push that red towards the left corner. Bell just wandered over and gave the thumbs up. It was a good win from him. It was a tough opening game against Zack Shepherd. Zack, one of the Welsh internationals. They're saying all Welsh affair, so Welsh bragging rights up for grabs there. So Greg getting another bite of the cherry, and no such mistakes from him here. Just needs to play this firmly, hold the white where the yellow is. Perfect. Black to right centre. And this will be 6-5, and it will be Greg's break in the next one. So again, back on serve. And with all the mistakes that Greg's made, he's still in this game. And I just got a little message come up on my phone saying that that was Europe's first ever whitewash in the foursomes. They took all 4 points, and having been 3-1 down, they're now leading 5 frames to 3. That's a big comeback from Europe. And America would have been firm favourites after that first session. But Europe rallying and saying no. Super stuff, and eyes will be back towards Paris early tomorrow morning when they're all back in action again. So now we can focus our attention firmly on this event 4. Of the Supreme Series. This is the K8.com Classic. The third section of games in the first round. games currently on stream. The one you see and the John Rowe Dom Cooney game. The game's on the other tables, waiting to start. Not due until 5:30, so players won't be called this early. They won't be called until just half an hour before the game, so you'll start seeing those games called in the next sort of 15 minutes. I just realised that Greg Batten is one of my horses in the grabber group. I don't know if anyone actually saw the grabber group. It was on the Facebook page. It was organised by Daz Sean. It was a great idea, actually. There were 16 groups, and it cost £200 for a group. And for your £200, you get 8 players, and the prize money is broken down to the top 8. So in theory, you could win all 8 places. Very unlikely to happen, but my group is Lee Boggy, who I think is in the losers side. Martin Hazel, how did he get on? I think did he lose? I don't know, it was a close game. He played in the first session. Yeah, he lost to Ben Tanner. Had Andrew McKee, who lost to Ben Flack. Tom Cousins, who scraped through in a Hill game. I've got Greg Batten, who's losing to Darrell Whitworth. Ryan Clark, Geoff Middleton, and Ben Davis, who's got Jordan Church in the 5:30 session. So my players not covering themselves in glory so far. They're going to have to step up to the mark. Otherwise, we'll have to have strong words. Oh, Ryan Clark has actually, Ryan Clark was playing Craig Marsh, and he's lost 11-8. So most of my players already in the losers side. And Tom Cousins very nearly in the losers side. Won a Hill game against Matt Schofield. Blimey, what's going on? I thought I had a good group. All the rest of the guys must be laughing. Mike King just sat over to the left of the arena. He had a great match early doors. He started at 10 o'clock this morning. He played Stevie Dempsey on table 11. You can watch these games back on YouTube if you want to. But I will spoil it by saying that Mike King, he was 9-4 down and won 7 frames on the bounce to come back to beat Stevie Dempsey 11-9. It was a really good win. This is better from Greg, better control. Again, he's just overrun that slightly, but better to err on the side of caution with that shot, as the black was looming large. And bit of a margin for error. He can, if he wants to, he can play this 2 cushions to come out round about the blue spot. Or I think he can play it with drag and just hold it for the middle. He's going to come around 2. And that's a good shot. Greg with his black. Just steps up off the shot, does the right thing, resets, goes back into his stance. I think he probably was down on the shot and then realised that that middle bag was kind of looming. So that's when you saw him stand up and reset on the shot and dig into it. So, nice clearance there from Greg, and it's 6 frames all. Darrell Whitworth will break frame number 13. Greg goes back to his corner, takes a drink, and he'll be happy that he's right back in this game now. Someone just mentioning to me, I was just talking about Mike King being 7-4 down, but they actually mentioned it was 7-1 down. I didn't see that, so that was a heck of a comeback. It was certainly 9-4 down. Yeah, 7-1 down, 9-4. That's right.
Frame 13, Darrell Whitworth to break, 6 frames each.
So we're streaming through YouTube this weekend, so do please take full advantage. You can watch this on your smart TV. If you didn't already realise, you'll have a YouTube app on there. You just need to search for Beard Productions as you would on your laptop or your device. And you can watch this on your TV of choice, your 48, 40 inch, whatever size you've got. My friend's got something like a 68-inch TV, curved thing. I mean, it's incredible. It's like a cinema. Another unforced error from Greg. He was looking to contact the black ball, but he's just come across and hit the yellow full ball. And don't think he can get through that gap. The black's in the way one side and the red's in the way the other side, so he's going to have to go side cushion. That's okay. Again, it was one of those shots he knew that he wasn't going to be leaving much. In fact, I'm not sure there is a pot. I can't see anything long. Nothing goes in the middle. I don't think there's any plant. There's no double. Be interesting to see what Darryl digs out here, because there's not really any safety shot either. Ah, could just get through to that plant. That's a very good shot, really well judged. And he's just a cue ball well too. We've already had a decision for the 8 p.m. streamed games. The main arena table will be Craig Wardingham versus Tom Cousins. Table 11 will be Karl O'Donoghue versus Craig Lakin. And the other two streams, Ronan McCarthy v Ben Flack and Adam Davis versus Clint Jansen. So Ben Flack already deep in amongst. It's his first event on this series, and he's got Ronan McCarthy in round 2. Big game for him. Some of these games drawing to a conclusion now. John Rowe 9-6 up against Dom Kearney. Andy Barber beat Jetman 11-9. Omar Mcquillan and Jez Graham 7 each. Gav Robinson trails Stefan Rossidi 10 frames to 9. And all the games are concluded. Carl Sutton beat Mark Asprey. Craig Marsh beat Ryan Clark. Jordan Shepherd beat Chris Day. Neil Raybone beat David McNamara. And I think within the next 5 minutes you'll start to hear the next games being called for the 5:30 session. They can call them up to half an hour early. And there are tables available. That was a really loose shot from Darryl. You can just see Oli Bale in the background there, off the back of his good win against Zack Shepherd. Just saw James Humphrey-Jenks come in a few minutes ago and give us a thumbs up, and he's in action. He was a last-minute entry, taking the place of somebody who sadly couldn't make it. Wow, what a shot to pull out. Puts his hand up, acknowledges the fluke. Anyway, James Humphrey-Jenks will be playing Michael Steele in that 5:30 session. So let's have a quick look. We'll run through the highlights. Ben Rowland's playing Zach Cooper. Josh Kane against Dylan Leary. That should be a great game. Jay Dewar against Sanjay Patel. I think Sanjay's been here for every event, but I've not actually managed to catch up with him yet. He must be flitting in and out between his games. Jamie Murray with a really tough opener. Well, about as tough as it gets. He opens his account versus Mick Hill. Sean Chipperfield playing Gareth Higgins. Lee Washbrook against Callum Singleton. Aaron Davis, I think I'm right in saying this is his first appearance in the Supreme Series. I don't think he's been in any of the previous ones. I could be mistaken, but I think he's filled the place of somebody. He's going to be playing John McAllister, so it's a bit of a baptism of fire for him. Another great game is going to be streamed on Table 4. That's Declan Brennan, Matt Lawrenson. Matt Lawrenson just narrowly lost a money match to Jordan Shepherd only last week. And Declan Brennan, well, we saw him in his money match a couple months ago against Seb Webb. Two very good players there. Phil Naylor's playing Michael Smout on the main arena table. Jordan Church versus Ben Davis. Scott Gillespie versus Phil Harrison will be table 11, our other stream table. And the final stream table, Lee Clough against Gareth Hibbert. That's another clash of the Titans, isn't it? Greg breaks off, and I can hear the microphone. I said they'd be calling out those games in the next 4 or 5 minutes, and I can hear Lee Grout calling the players to the table. Red calling his extension just a touch high on this one over the middle. He won't be able to hold it. He's going to have to come off 2 cushions. Well, he could just run down off the 1. And there's another one that he's under hit by anything up to 6-8 inches really. He really didn't want to be low. He could have been high. Still had options, but now, as you can see, he's looking at inevitable collision with the pack of balls, and he's going to be relying on luck here. Running into the black. Now, I think this red passes. Does it? Well, he's not looking very happy. I don't think it does. I'm just looking, and I don't mean that one. I mean the one into the middle, and I'm pretty sure it doesn't. If it does, he's literally got the top half of the pocket to aim for. He's looking to hold on the yellow. Just can't come out for him, can it? It was after a full ball contact on that yellow to hold for the red in the opposite middle. Now, does this red put off the bottom of the yellow into the middle? I don't think there's enough space between the bottom of that yellow and the top of the other yellow, if you see what I mean. I don't think it'll go. I think he's got to cut it to top right, which is a really tough shot. Again, he's going to be colliding into this pack. Is it there? It is, you know. Is he on this black? I don't think he is. Oh, my goodness. I don't think he could have been much more unfortunate during this frame, could he? You can see there, I mean, he just clearly can't see the potting angle. What options does he have? Rail first doesn't help. Taking another look at it. I think he's already taken his extension in this frame, so he's going to have to make up his mind pretty quickly. So he's looking at the cut now. Does it cut to top corner? Does it pass that yellow? Oh, it might just. This is a hard shot. Big shot. And he's some distance away. Had he have got a bit closer, he would have probably claimed the pocket, but he's just left this wide open, and I mean, Darryl, he's just got time on his hands. If he wants to go for the clearance, he can. If he wants to try and develop and lay the snooker, equally, he can. He's going to take the latter option. Now, the only trouble is with this shot, it allows Greg to the table, and I don't think that's a very good shot. I don't think that's a very good shot. It's a total, but he can swerve here. He can swerve and go cushion first. He needs to be able to get to somewhere around about where the bulk line. There, he's just pointing at it, just below the bulk line. And you can see, here he goes, he's going to load up. This is going to be close. Darryl should have never given him this opportunity. Well, he didn't make the pot. He's kind of got second prize. He's covered the path through. But it should be simple enough now for Darryl to pop the yellow off the back of the black and just move the black out. Another big shot coming here. Well, that's gone wrong. Definitely trying to pop that off the back of the black. But he's misjudged it. You could see his shoulders sag in disappointment. Because now, somehow he has to find another route for those 2 balls. Again, not really under any pressure to attack if he doesn't want to. But I think he probably will. Going to come off the top cushion, arc the ball. No luck. No luck at all. Arc the ball off the top rail. Kick one of them down, try and leave himself on the other. Just needed a bit of fortune over where the white ball landed and didn't get any. So Greg in a bit of trouble again. All of his own doing. And I've just managed to grab someone. They've just walked in the room. And as soon as they walk in the room, they don't get away with it. Straight in the commentary box. It's Jordan Church, everyone. How are you doing, Jordan?
How are we doing all right?
You just turned up?
Oh, yeah, I came over to say hello to you guys and I'm commentating.
Yeah, well, I need to take an opportunity to have a chat with you because you're coming up. Oh, look at this for
that's a good effort.
Yeah, great. You're coming up on the main arena table in your first round match.
Yeah, nice.
You could have got a better draw there, couldn't you?
Yeah, there's no real easy ones, is there? But
then again, he could have got a better draw. To be fair, you know, same for both of you.
I suppose, yeah. There's we're in a pretty tough section, I think.
Yeah.
Phil Harrison, Scott Gillespie, Lee Clough, Gareth Hibbert are all floating around there.
I should just say that Jordan's got Ben Davis in his first round match. And I grabbed him on commentary. He said, "I'm on in a minute." I said, "No, you're not, because you're not on till after this game. So get over here for a chat." So your first look at the grey cloth. You looking forward to playing on it?
Yeah, I've been. Well, I thought I'd come in and I'll see how the table was playing. Try and get some, like a few little little ideas of how it was playing. But it looks good. It does look good. It looks responsive.
It is. Yeah,
really responsive.
yeah. I know quite a few of the players have just been struggling a little bit with the pace of it. Just to you know, once they've settled in those first few frames, they're away and it seems absolutely fine. But it is very responsive and it's pretty quick too.
Yeah, I think when you get to 2 of the top players in the early rounds, I suppose they'll be thinking if they can get off to a good start, they can get the other person under a bit of pressure.
Yeah.
And if you're not 100% with the cloth, then you've got a good chance with running away with the match. But
have you literally just turned up? I mean,
Yeah.
you've travelled up today, and
I travelled up last night,
Oh, sorry.
but I got here late, so
yeah,
I've been watching a little bit of like a couple of matches online as
Yeah.
well as the Ryder Cup. I won't lie, but
chilling out in the hotel room.
yeah,
That's a good whitewash this afternoon, wasn't it?
it was good. Yeah,
That's incredible. Fantastic result for the Europeans.
I haven't seen a lot of this match. I thought I'd grab some food before I went on and played, so I haven't really seen a lot of this match. But Darrell's had a good. Didn't he beat Phil in the last event, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think he beat Phil Harrison in the
did.
first round.
Yeah. He was the person who sent Phil. That's what everyone's got Darrell to thank, because sent Phil to the loser's side, and then he was like a cut cat after that, wasn't he? He was like, backed into a corner and and battled his way all the way through to win it again. So who knows what would have happened if he wins his first round game? Probably still wins the event.
Yeah.
But it's been a match of unforced errors, really, from both players. Greg has made a lot of mistakes that you wouldn't normally associate with him, and Darryl, of course, is also a great pedigree England player. So again, it was a tough draw for both, and probably not one of the standout obvious games to put on the arena, but I think they've chosen these games really well today. Sean Story against Drew Hughes in the opening match. Again, it's often you see those kind of big blockbuster matches, but I think they've chosen really well. It's been
Yeah,
great to see some different people on the stream today.
Yeah, definitely. It's good to see a few new faces. I thought that was a good match to put on as well this morning.
Yeah.
Sean Story and Drew.
Yeah.
Because they're both really good players, and they kind of both sort of go under the radar a little bit. But yeah, they still play to like the top level really.
Yeah, this really has. I mean, I could probably name, I don't know, at least four frames that Greg's just given away. Either snookered himself on the last ball or just done some silly error. He had a fairly straight black in the middle with the red right next to it. Just caught the red on the way past and fouled. So it's just not happening for him so far today.
It's not a nice place to be. The arena tables are not a nice place to be if it's not going for you.
Yeah.
I've played on here twice, and I played rubbish both times. and it just feels a lot worse because you can't really get into a rhythm.
Yeah.
So if you're behind, like I like to play a little bit quicker if I'm behind and try and get something going, but you can't because you're sort of waiting for the ref and sorry. Yeah, I lost to Mcquillan and Craig Marsh. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Thanks for reminding me just before I go on. Thanks.
Yeah, but it's like, there's no shame losing those games.
Yeah, it's just your performance.
Yeah,
that's what you concentrate on. But
yeah,
it's hard to kind of get into it any sort of rhythm, because even between frames when your opponent would be sitting down and you'd be at the table, even if you're busy setting the balls up, and then you're still in the zone, if you like, but then you've got to go back to your chair and wait for the referee to set the balls up, and then you've got to wait for him to do the scoreboard and then call out the scores, and then you can start again.
Yeah.
And it's tough to get like a rhythm going, but if you're in front, it's not something you really think about. But if you're trying to make things happen,
it's just another. I mean, this has just been absolutely littered. I don't think I've ever seen this many mistakes in one match from Greg Batten, and I've seen him play a lot.
He's normally so solid.
I know. Yeah. Rich Wharton has made a great comeback, and he's now leading Matt Brearley 9 frames to 8. He was quite a way behind in that game. John Rowe 9-8 up against Dom Coomey.
Well, that's gone quick. He was 9-6 about 5 or 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. Jez Graham is trailing Omar Manchard 8 frames to 7. And a lot of games now underway. James Humphrey-Jenks is 1-0 against Michael Still. So these are from the 5:30 session. Ben Rowland 1-0 against Zack Cooper. Ross Smith 1-0 against Adam Marlowe. Sean Chipperfield 2-0 against Gareth Higgins. Callum Singleton, Lee Washbrook just got underway. And the other game of note that has just started is over on table 11. So if you have any interest in watching Scott Gillespie versus Phil Harrison, then that's over on table 11. But
Pretty rubbish, aren't they?
Yeah,
not really worth watching that one.
You definitely want to stick with the main arena, because this fella Jordan Church against Ben Davis is going to be something else. I mean, Jordan's just not performed on this arena table yet, but it's all going to happen for him today.
That'd be nice. Be nice. Just 3 in a row. 3 balls. That's all. That's all I'm after. Not asking for the world.
And if Greg goes on to lose this match, then he'll just look back, and if he ever decides to watch this match back, he'll see so many unforced errors. Just handing frames on a plate. And clearly everything passes this top corner bag.
He may even play cushion and yellow just to open it up slightly here.
Yeah, indeed. I guess the only thing that may be a problem would be the black, but he does need to land right behind it to leave it to centre. But
well, I think if he plays the ball in the red on the top rail, if he plays that into the cushion and then off the yellow, he can bring the white out, and then he's just got a straightforward screw back really, or he can kind of stun off the top rail.
Yeah.
But if you're punching him in, I don't really like this. Oh, he had a bit more angle than I thought.
Yeah, so you can just play this with a chase the left-hand side, just screw it back off the side, off the top rail, Just wants to finish around about that chalk mark on the bulk line. Yeah, that's fine. And this for a 3-frame lead. Makes no mistakes, and that's 9 frames to 6. And this is going to be a long way back for Greg now. He's good enough to do it, but not with the mistakes he's been making. McHill game has just got underway against Jamie Murray. That's 0-0 at the moment. So all bar a couple of those games are now in progress from the 5:30 session. Most starting around about 5 o'clock. So we're slightly ahead of schedule, which is good.
Are you here for the whole day? Again?
Yeah.
You wasn't at the last event, was you?
No.
Did you have a note?
I
bring a
did.
note?
I did. Yeah, I was in hospital. I was in intensive care.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was. I was watching this from a.
Withdrawals from commentating? Or?
It really was. Yeah.
Blimey.
I had a bit of a time of it, to be honest. I went in for a routine knee op, and had that done, no problems at all. And I was recovering from it when I was rushed into hospital in an incredible amount of pain and found to have a really bad infection of the gallbladder, which subsequently got removed a couple of days later. What was supposed to be a 1 hour op turned into about a 4.5 hour op, and I lost a load of blood and ended up in intensive care.
Oh my God.
And then a couple of days later I was diagnosed with pneumonia. So
Blimey. All right now though?
So I'm probably about 80% now. I'm not quite back to full strength, but I'm getting there.
Yeah,
We're okay.
Good. I thought you were just going to say you was on holiday or something.
I know. I know. Wish you hadn't asked now, don't you?
Feel bad now.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Just glad to be back on the mend. I really missed it. I mean, I was literally. That all happened on the Tuesday, and I think it was like Thursday morning I got diagnosed with pneumonia, and I was like still lying in my hospital bed, and then this all kicked off Friday morning. I thought, well, at least I can watch it, even if I couldn't be here. It was kind of touch and go anyway after the knee op, you know, whether I was going to be able to drive up here, but I thought, well, worst comes to the worst, I can ask someone to give me a lift, you know, and then, oh well.
It was weird listening to the commentary about you on there, because you're every single session you're there, aren't you?
Yeah, that's it, yeah. Mike Day stepped in and did a great job. Thanks very much to Mike. I know he's away on other business this week, doing some social media coverage for Snooker. He's well into his Q Sports. What that man doesn't know about Q Sports just isn't worth knowing. Incredible knowledge. And he's got a page called The Q View, which is like an online magazine. And Mike writes all the event previews and the summaries, and really good stuff. It's well worth a visit. Go across and have a look at, check out Mike's page, the Q View. We're hoping that Mike can join us for the grand final. Hopefully his diary's free. Really interesting bloke to get on the commentary. Just knows his stuff.
Yeah, I've never spoke to Mike, but I do read. I read online. I read all of his articles and stuff, and he is good.
Yeah,
he's good. You can tell he's a fan as well, which is always good.
Absolutely loves it, and not a bad player either. Not a bad player at all. So this is a must-win frame for Greg, and there's another one that could go wrong. Don't wish it on him, but you can just see he should be okay. You can just screw down table a few inches.
This is the big shot, really.
Yeah.
I think I'm dead in line with the shot, and I think he's absolutely perfect. He looks a little bit high on on the camera we're on at the moment. There you go.
So you can just drop this in. Is it just a,
And
just a
just
touch aside, is it?
Just a little touch, yeah. He just coast past that red.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to go too high.
Looks good. Is he?
I think he's short. Yeah.
Oh, he is.
I don't think he's got any shot.
Well, there's a better angle for you. Well, it's not now. He's put himself in the way of it, but
He might be able to squeeze the double.
yeah.
But if he pots the double, he's still got to get position.
Is there a swerve on, or is it just too much?
I don't think he can get round there quick enough.
No.
I don't think he can get the pace on the yellow if he was to get round there.
So it's the double.
Oh, he's I think he tried to play the swerve and hit the red.
Darryl again asking the question, and the ref's not called it.
Oh, Greg's just called it.
Greg's just called it on himself again. And there's another one that the ref's missed. Yep.
Yeah, Greg just called that himself. I think the referee was looking so much at where the white was going because he looked like he was going to pop the red over
That's
the pocket.
right. Yeah, yeah. It was easy to watch the path of the white. It's difficult to have your eyes everywhere. So just moves this red off the side rail, promotes it, and well, just littered with mistakes. Just one big error from Greg, and it's almost like you expect it. He's done it so many times. He will be absolutely fuming with himself. And it's always been just on those like you mentioned with that shot, he couldn't be high on it.
Yeah.
He needed to stay low on it, and it's always been those kind of like little touch shots that have let him down. Darryl certainly won't be looking a gift horse in the mouth.
It's one of those. Although I said you don't want to be too high. You'd rather be too high than too low. You don't get anything for being low. At least you've got a shot, I suppose, if you're high. But he would then have been running into the black, and but obviously he landed low, and he's got no shot whatsoever. So if you're feeling under it a little bit, play it harder just to make sure you've got the shot.
Yeah. That Matt Brearley, Rich Wharton game still going then, 9 frames each. Well, that one been going for about 2.5 hours. It won't be the longest game, that's for sure. That was the Brian Halker, that was nearly 4 hours. John Rowe, Dom Cooney. John Rowe leads 10-8. Darrell Whitworth 9-6 up, obviously against Greg Batten. Sorry, that's obvious, it's on screen. I'm just running down through the scores. Jez Graham, 8 each against Omar Manchid. As I mentioned, the Mick Hill-Jamie Murray game was underway. Jamie won the first frame, but Mick's just drawn level. Jamie Murray won't be a pushover. He plays around the Gloucester area and can be a very explosive player.
He played for Wales for a very long time. I don't know if he still does, but yeah, I played him in the last event actually, and he was doing a bit like what Greg's doing today. He just kept sort of breaking down towards the end of the finishes and kind of making life a bit too easy for me. But yeah, he's definitely got a game there.
Matt Lawrenson 3-0 up against Declan Brennan. Two very tough opponents there. I singled that game out earlier on. It's two players that have been quite prevalent in the money match scene recently. Matt Lawrenson played Jordan Shepherd last weekend, lost 25-20, and obviously Declan Brennan played Seb Webb a couple of months ago. Beat Seb by, I think it was a similar scoreline, 25-21, something like that.
Was the Jordan and Matt game off levels?
Yes, it was.
It was, yeah.
Jordan was saying that he was really impressed by Matt. He said he was an absolute gentleman, and he said he just pushed him all the way.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really seen much of Matt, but he's been having some good results recently, hasn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
He's beaten a lot of top players, and like I say, I haven't really followed a lot of his results beforehand, but he can obviously play.
Scott Gillespie currently 2-1 up against Phil Harrison. We'll watch that with an eager interest. See which one of those two previous winners will be pushed into the losers section early doors. Scott Gillespie been around most of the day. He'd have probably phoned down last night. Phil Harrison, who knows? He just wanders into the venue with about... If someone says you need to be here for 5 o'clock, they'll be here at 5:02, on the dot, ready to go. So Darryl now on the hill. It's just really not been good enough from Greg. I know he's underperformed. I'm sure he won't mind me saying so. I'm sure we'll catch up with him on commentary sometime over the weekend as well, and he can talk us through what's gone wrong. I mean, he's not lost, but with that break, well, Reds look okay. Whichever set you go for, there are problem balls. It's got to be Reds, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, yellows are all right, but I think you've got to play your it's all about the first 2 shots.
Yeah. You could definitely make a case for yellows because you've got this the one at the bottom of the pack to corner, and then you could leave the one below the black to right middle. Maybe leave a little cannon on the black to take the 2 to the left of it. So you could definitely make a case.
He's going aggressive. I'm not sure if he gets the red here. No. Oh, and now he's got to pot another colour. And he can't see that one over the pocket.
No.
There's still an open table.
Left a bit of a job for the ref. He needs to chock this yellow. I think it's the only ball he does need to chock, but he's going to have to pluck it out from between the chalk and the white. Now the rack should just come straight over the top.
Good job. I might have said that one. I might have said that a little bit early.
He's got to get it back in you. Wow.
Good job.
What are his attacking options here? Just looking now to see whether that red goes long.
Does that red and yellow plant in the middle?
Oh, it could be a good shout.
If it doesn't, because they're touching, he might be able to play the squeeze shot. I didn't think he could see this.
Can just get through. So he's left an angle again. White ball. Well, he's already looked to see if this red does go long. You get the impression it doesn't. It looks like it's touching that yellow, but I think he's purposefully left this angle so he can go through and nudge it, and he's missed it. So it's not frame over yet. Still a lot of work to do. And it's hard to see a ball now that he can say.
I think he's going. Yeah, he's going safe.
Yeah.
That's a really good shot.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say it was hard to see a natural ball that he can come down and knock that red out now. So quite rightly taking the more conservative option.
I think he was probably thinking if he could have attacked it from, he wanted to attack it from the black end really,
Yeah.
and push it up towards the other reds, but the yellow that's on effectively on the blue spot, that was kind of in the way, leaving him a backup if he was to go into it and not land on it. So yeah, I think that's definitely the right shot.
Greg is going to need a bit of luck here. Well, he's moved that one ball that was kind of covering the path to knocking this red and yellow out. So
He's got a free go at it now.
Yeah.
All he's got to do is hit it really. You can't see it tying itself up.
he's just got the right angle here.
Oh,
Wow.
see, you can't see it tying itself up.
No. Commentator's curse. We've all done that. Whenever you say things like that, if it can go wrong, it will go wrong.
And he played it at pace as well. I thought if he goes into it at pace, he can't fail to be on it. That's a nice shot.
Yeah, again, he's left a nice angle, but this is really relying on a little bit of fortune, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you need to hit the yellow.
Yeah.
I don't think you want to hit the red here.
No, if you can hit the yellow, I think that's exactly what he's looking at. If you can hit the yellow half ball, you'll leave the red where it is, and almost certainly leave a shot.
If he hits the red, I think he'll snooker himself.
No,
And
he's
missed
missed
it.
a lot.
That goes, I think.
I think it might. Goes to top corner. Maybe give him the credit there and say he played it. I don't think he did, but I'll give him the credit.
No. White ball as well.
And
isn't
the
it?
white's gone. Well, lifeline for Greg. And that was some shot, because even if he potted it, he'd have had some shot on the black, wouldn't he? So Greg just taking advantage of that free shot. Opens everything up. And, I would like to say there'll be no mistakes from here, and I'm almost certain there won't be, but I'm not going to call anything while Greg's at the table at the moment. So, the one thing about Greg Batten I can tell you is he is a fighter. He will battle for every single frame there. And he's got the break in the next. But the game is in Darryl's hands. That's going to be a try. And Greg kind of slumps his shoulders, and it's not happened for him today.
I think if he could have got to sort of 10-9 and kind of get Darryl thinking. Even it doesn't matter how bad you're playing, if you can get your opponent start thinking that maybe he could lose from here, then he might have had a chance. But
need to apply that pressure, but he's just really not been able to do it. And this really should be game. Just needs to nudge the yellow out of the way and everything on. There's only one ball that presents any real problem, and that's the red just adjacent to the right centre bag. It goes to either of the top or bottom corner, but won't go to middle, so I think he's left just about the perfect angle here, though. He can think maybe just a touch straight, but I think he can just screw back.
might even be able to go into the yellow if
I
he
was just
fancies
about,
it.
yeah, I just noticed that. I was just about to say he could probably screw straight back into that yellow and leave himself a shot. I think that's what he's looking at. Well,
Could have come out nicer.
yeah, it's just
He's now playing into the other red if he plays the bottom one.
it's just one of those now, isn't it? It could, from a what looked like a fairly unassailable position, it could just go wrong there. It's been one of those games, if it can go wrong, it has tended to. That's okay. Just wondered for a second if those two reds were going to come and tie each other up, but that's absolutely fine. Do you maybe just try and screw back to somewhere right about where the black is now and just leave the...
I think he might have a little bit too much angle, so he may have to go a little bit higher than the black, and then the second one, he just floats that in and comes round and plays the other red in the same pocket.
Yep. Cool.
He's got a little bit of angle, so I think Greg's only hope here is that he underhits it. Looks perfect to me. Oh, what do I know?
Well, that's probably 4 or 5 inches short of perfect. And the natural angle kind of takes him through the gap between yellow and black, or
Well, I think if he drops it in, I think he just clips the black.
Yeah.
And maybe pushes the black. There you go.
Oh dear. I did say a moment ago, if it can go wrong in this match, it will. It's been the same for both players.
He could have picked the back of his cue up and just sort of dug down on it slightly. He could have stunned into one of the yellows.
Yeah.
Played the black into the opposite corner.
Jez Graham now on the hill against Omar Ranchod, who's 10-9 up. Sanjay Patel flying out of the blocks. He's 4-1 up against Jay Dewar. Sean Chipperfield 5-3 up against Gareth Higgins. It's 8 frames in about 35 minutes. Scott Gillespie now 4-1 up against Phil Harrison.
Yeah, Greg's played a good shot there because I think he's got to now play this with a lot of side. Oh, it's a great effort.
So for Greg just to start to try applying a little more pressure. Back to 10-8 and then relying on a poor break or a mistake from Darryl. So say he will continue to fight as he always does. Can never write him off until that last black goes down. Yeah, I just thought for a split second that was going to come down. And
Kind of made a bit of hard work at these.
yeah.
I know he's still getting them, but the white's.
He's putting some mileage on that
Yeah,
white,
I
isn't
was
he?
going to say, he's got more miles than the car.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've seen Greg be much more clinical than that, but
Yeah.
he gets the job done. There's no pictures on the scorecard, as they say, and it's 10-8. But it will be Darryl's break in the next. He just stepped out of the arena to take a quick toilet break, so we'll just take a couple of minutes. We'll be back with you very shortly.
Frame 19. Darrell Whitworth to break, leading 10 frames to 8.
So a big break now, this one for Darryl. You can see he's gone wide. He's gone wide with his break. Almost the kind of position that you're taking a cut break from. But
If that yellow that he's closest to goes into that top right, which I think it does, yellows are pretty simple. He's just got to keep a good white ball. Yeah.
yeah, this is all about the white ball, isn't it? It's it should be straightforward. It's a bit of a dot-to-dot finish. One ball kind of lends itself to the next, but if you run out of position, then you could be in trouble. So
Yeah, I think I play this one. He's pretty much straight on into the top left. And then I'd play the ball in the middle, and then
Yeah.
one of the other two in the bulk, and then obviously the other one, and then come down for the one in the bottom right, yellow into the middle, and he's going completely different way.
he's going totally the opposite way. And you can see him checking the ball on the right-hand side. And you can see that check just grabbed off the bottom rail. The natural path of that cue ball was sending it straight into the yellow. But the check side took, and he's left himself straight. And I think this looks just about perfect. He can screw back up just over kind of the blue spot, and he should have a choice of 2 or 3 balls.
Oh, that's a lovely little flick.
Even better, yeah. Just flick the black ball out, and I'm pretty sure that was intentional, just to make sure that the black's nice and easy now. Goes anywhere. And I got to say, this looks much more like the Greg Batten we're used to seeing. It's far more clinical from him.
He's playing a lot quicker than he usually does.
Yeah, sped up, just trying to get that little bit of momentum. And it's kind of working for him as well. And would you believe it? We are, as they say, we're back on serve. Greg, 10-9. And he's got the break in the 20th frame. Who'd have thought that? And he went about that clearance in really quick time. So I can see that the Lee Clough Gareth Hibbert game has just started. We will be watching that scoreline. Phil Harrison's pulled one back against Scott Gillespie. He's now 4 frames to 2. I don't know. I don't know what people are going to be wishing for here, because you know, Phil's won it from the winner's side. Well, he didn't go all the way through the winner's side in the second event. He dropped over to the loser's side in the last.
He lost to me.
Yeah, that's right. He did. Yeah, of course.
Then I got the joy of Mcquillan.
Yeah.
Lee, I think Lee must have. I mean, Lee must not like me. I think that's what I've come to. I've come to that conclusion.
But, he's also won it from the loser's side as well. So, what can you hope for here? And Gareth Hibbert's just won the first frame against Lee Clough. That's a real contrast in styles between those two as well. Gareth Hibbert, a really aggressive attacking player, and Lee Clough a little bit more sedate. I wouldn't call him a defensive player, but
I would.
Would you? Yeah, he probably is.
Nah, he's still aggressive, yeah, but he is methodical.
He's naturally attacking, naturally aggressive, but he's a very methodical player. Always has a little argument at some point during the weekend with Lee Kendall, because Lee puts him on the clock. Inevitably puts him on the clock at some point during the weekend, and then he has a little moan about it and says, "You're picking on me." You see the two big Welsh heavyweights in the background, and I don't mean that with any disrespect, but they are definitely two mountains of the game. There you go, Craig Marsh on the left, and your opponent, Ben Davis, sipping the Coke on the right-hand side. They're two absolute beasts of players, of course, both world champions. Back-to-back, I think, weren't they? Of course, Ben Davis is current world champion, and Craig Marsh was world champion from last year.
Yeah, no, they're both really, really good players. They play really similar as well.
Yeah, they do, yeah. Both very aggressive attacking players, and both have monster breaks. Just.
It's a good shot though. He was a little bit frustrated that he didn't have a go. That he didn't have a shot at red there. He's played a nice shot. It's a good return as well.
Yeah, it is a good.
He might be forced to go yellows here. Might have to play the red onto the yellow and send the white into the black and the two yellows. Oh,
Shot.
what a shot. Again, I didn't think he could see that. I thought Darryl had played a really good shot.
Well, this is by no means a straightforward clearance, but I'm going to call it now, because Greg Batten just seems to have hit a slightly different gear. Seems to have put those mistakes behind him, and he smells blood. He's on the hunt. And I fancy this one's going to the hill. You can't give this guy a sniff. He's like a hunting dog. That one just gone a bit wrong. To get slightly thicker contact on the red, just to try and push the red down below the yellow. still got a shot, but it just suddenly got a little bit tougher.
Yeah, I think he's still all right because they all still go. I think he was just trying to make life a bit easier for himself.
Yeah.
But both of those reds go into the top pockets.
I mean, Greg Batten staged some of the biggest comebacks this series has seen so far. He did. He made a brilliant comeback against Liam Dunster from way behind. I think it was in. I think it may have been late in the night in event 1, maybe.
Against
Yeah,
Karl
yeah, yeah.
O'Donoghue.
No. Paul was just reminding me he did one against Karl O'Donoghue, but he also did one against Dunster. He ended up losing 11-10 against Dunster, but he was quite a way behind, and he staged a great comeback, and he had a good chance in the deciding frame. I remember stood watching it through the glass at about 1 o'clock in the morning. So anyway, big shot coming up.
That's a nice shot.
Yeah.
It's easy to quit on that sort of shot because you worry too much about overhitting it.
Yeah.
He's played that lovely.
Well, there we go. And the game is now firmly in his hands. He has the break in the deciding frame, so it's all about whether he can find a ball and find a route for the clearance. But
Is it Darrell's break?
oh, sorry.
break.
You're absolutely right. Look, there's a big arrow on the screen which says it's his break.
Come on, Nick. I came in halfway through the game. Even I know it's Darrell's break.
You're more up than I am. It's rookie errors. I say it's been a long day. Travelled up early this morning.
The body language is quite interesting at the moment.
Yeah.
It's Darrell's break. He's sitting down. Obviously, it's not Greg's break. He's standing up. He's pretty keen to get things going.
I said he just said a moment ago that he's smelt blood now and he's on the prowl. Intimidatory tactics, I think they call that. Just stood there.
Standing over him.
Yeah, just stood there chalking his cue. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Will he get a chance? You feel there's some more twists in the tails yet. How often do we get to the deciding frame and the player breaks off and they just go like dollies?
Yeah.
It just never happens. There's a twist in the tail yet. You can see Jake Newlove in the blue shirt just to the right of the picture over Greg's shoulder. There's a twist in the tail yet. Couple of little clusters. I think he's got an opener. He can play the plant to middle.
If he can play the plant to the middle and leave a ball near that, obviously leave the ball that he's playing near the pocket, as long as he doesn't push it safe, he can then get on the red in the bottom half of that's on the front spot to stun into the yellow and the red, and then the game's completely open. He needs to really be where the black is, I think, if he's going to play that.
Yeah.
Just sort of stun straight into them.
Don't think he can get there from. Can he get there from the one over the middle? He's got too much angle, isn't he?
Yeah, if he's playing in.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's played there.
No. Now this is starting to become a little bit more difficult. I guess he's kind of got the tiny sort of safety net that the yellows aren't gimmies. So that'll take just a tiny bit of pressure off, but
It's a good shot. Oh, here we go. So you can play the red into the middle, hold on the yellow.
yeah, but
And then he can play the shot that we said about.
It's all the eggs in one basket now, isn't it? Because if that goes wrong, he hasn't got any B plan, because most of his reds are off the table. Wow.
This is the shot, I think.
Yep.
Ideally, you want to go into, send the white into the gap.
Yes, yeah, right between the two of them. You're going to push the red down towards the pocket.
If he hits the red full ball, he's probably not going to have a shot, especially not on the one in the second half of the table.
Wow. He's the way he's connected it, he's probably just been a tad lucky there. But how does he get on this last red?
I think he's got to play the
come
one
twice
down,
across?
Yeah, one down the cushion and twice across.
Yeah.
He's played a bit of both.
Oh, he's right in between. Wow.
This is it.
I mean, can you pop this half ball to right and just screw off the side rail? Can you hold it?
I think he's got a bit too much angle for that.
Looks like it, doesn't it?
So I think he's got to roll it with top or plain ball, and just kind of let the white drift off two cushions. It should be coming probably a little bit past the yellow, I think. Oh my God!
Wow.
Wow! Crowd pleaser.
What a shot that was. Great pot.
Didn't fancy rolling it.
No. And that black ball to win the deciding frame, and that was a great game. Really good fight back from Greg. Just never had a chance in the decider. Clearance there from Darryl. And thank you very much for joining us, Jordan.
No problem.
Really
Thanks for having
appreciate
me.
And we'll see you in action in probably about 15-20 minutes once we reset the stream. And very best of luck to you.
Thank you very much. See you on the other side.
Jordan will be in action. Hopefully, the next time you see him, it will be doing the winners' interview after the game.
That'd be nice.
I'll be looking forward to having a chat with you. So, anyway, again, thanks very much for joining us. We'll see Jordan in action against Ben Davis. We're going to go into the interview room. Darryl's going to head in there. So we'll have a quick word with him. So we'll see you all again very shortly.
Darryl. It was a good win for you there, Darryl, and against a tough opponent.
Yeah, he's obviously a class player. He didn't really play that well in that match, I don't think. I don't know what you think about that.
Well, it was a weird game for me. It was one of those that I said it a couple of times on commentary. If it was going to go wrong, it went wrong for both of you.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen Greg make so many unforced errors, but equally, you know, if the ball was running loose, you were just going to get snookered on
was
your
gonna
last
hide
ball,
behind
weren't you?
something,
For both of you, it was incredible.
Whatever could go wrong did go wrong, and it's strange. We seemed to break down the last sort of ball before the black. Every time it was we left one ball and he'd leave me with 7 on the table, that sort of thing.
And what a finish as well. I mean, he's come back from 10-6.
Yeah.
I mean, he's smelt blood and he's on your heels.
So I thought I've got to go for it in the last one. If I play safe or something and I'd end up not getting another shot like the frame before, then I'm just going to go home and go to bed, I think. And
Took out a really good clearance there.
Yeah, a bit fortunate, I think. Whiteboard was a bit all over the place, but like I say, I thought I had to go for it. So.
Yeah. And another good first round win, of course.
Yeah.
Famously, in the last event, you took out Phil in the first round and sent him to the loser's side. Didn't matter. I mean, he's still
no, nothing matters to Phil. He's amazing, isn't he? But
but some good results for you over the event.
Yeah, just consistency. I think it's the match I played after Phil last time was I played dreadful. I don't know why. I've struggled on some of the tables. They're perfect tables, but I don't know what it is. It feels a little bit cramped. Sometimes there's nowhere to sit, that sort of thing. I don't know if you can just build an extra 100-foot square. But being a snooker player, I like to sit down, and that's perfect for me. I just sit down, relax, and I ignore that he's dishing up time after time. But
just stay in your own little mindset.
Yeah, but it's a bit more difficult when you're having to move around and that sort of thing. But hopefully I can carry this on.
And in the pool, well, not a lot of people know you. I mean, I know you're in the England team, and you're a great player, and it's good for people like you to get the exposure on the main table.
Yes, it's great. I mean, usually you've got the likes of Mick and Phil, which they're great players, so they deserve to be on the stream. So, it's nice for you to give the ones a couple of steps down a chance.
Well, just giving the viewers a chance to see you as well. I mean, we do expect them players to come through, and there's some good matchups coming up. Yeah. So we try to balance it out and get everybody a little bit of exposure where we can. Yeah, like you say, a lot of the black ball players won't have a clue where I am. Obviously doing okay on the world rules now, but a lot of people won't have heard of me, so it's nice to get. Well, you beat Phil Harrison last time, and you've just had a great win there. So hopefully you can have a good tournament. Hopefully we carry on. Okay, well we'll go forward now. I mean, the next match is a cracker: Jordan Church, Ben Davies. I'm sure there'll be quite a few people in anticipation of that match. So, without further ado, we'll finish the interview and get on to that one.